Well, hello and welcome back to another Champions League video. Now, the semi-finals are upon us after what was a quite thrilling quarter-finals, if I do say so myself. Some results I did not expect there, and I think I got one prediction right out of the whole lot, so I did pretty well, as you can tell. And I was sitting there watching him like, wow, I'm really shit at predicting football. But that's not going to stop me because, as I said, the semi-finals are upon us and we've got some very exciting clashes to have a look at and see if my football knowledge can actually come through for once. So we're going to start off in no particular order. We're just going to start off with Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich. Yes, it's last season's Spanish runners-up faced the former champions of Germany in this massive semi-final clash of two teams that are Champions League heavyweights, I will say. Both teams have enjoyed numerous successful Champions League campaigns throughout their history, with Real Madrid winning 14 and Bayern Munich winning 6. But Real have won theirs the most recently as they beat Liverpool in the finals, not last year but the year before, which was their 14th crown. Bayern Munich, on the other hand, won their last Champions League in the 2019-20 season. So it's not actually been that far away, to be fair. So one of these massive clubs will be out of the Champions League come the final in June, I believe. So it's looking very, very exciting. Both sides had to be English opposition to progress. Real Madrid edged out Manchester City on penalties, whilst Bayern just about beat Arsenal, winning 3-2 aggregate after drawing in London. And that was with no fans as well. Well, no official away fans, shall we say. I'm sure some Bayern Munich fans snuck in. Domestically, it looks like regular programming has resumed for both sides. Well, I say regular programming has resumed, but Bayern Munich have lost out on their 12th successive Bundesliga title, and they've done so to what is a phenomenal Bayer Leverkusen side, who are still unbeaten, may I add. They're currently looking to end the season strongly and close the gap as much as they can between them and Leverkusen. They're currently 12 points adrift, and they do have games left to close that deficit as much as they can. But if Leverkusen keep on their same form, they're probably not going to close the gap, let's be real. Real Madrid look to be wrapping up the La Liga title. They could have found themselves top of the league with a 13-point buffer between them and current second place Girona, but Barcelona are set to play later today, so that could all change. The Spanish title is all but theirs, as Girona and Barca will almost certainly fail to catch Los Blancos at this point. There are enough games for them to do it, mathematically, but if we're just looking at the performances of Barcelona and those teams around them, it's not looking very likely that they'll slip up. I don't think Ancelotti has this level of bottle in his locker. Both teams have been experiencing good runs of form since their victories in Europe, so it should make this clash even more interesting. But, as I mentioned in my quarter-final predictions, whoever won out of Real and City, when the two teams meet, normally go on to win the whole thing. And I can see that repeating itself here. I'm backing Real Madrid to progress on to the finals. On paper, they have one of the best teams in the world. The whole squad's just chock full of quality, and also hold 2 of the top 10 Liga goal scorers in their ranks, with Bellingham and Vinny Jr. representing, and obviously have a lot more lower down as well. Yeah, man, it's a crazy squad, and it's only going to get more insane next season. That's the thing. Like, this Real Madrid side is good, but next season it's going to be insane. Some of the talent they've got lined up to bring in, any team that beats them is going to just be phenomenal, because that side is going to be so much quality in that team. It's going to be insane. Get early prediction in for the next Champions League, but Real Madrid are going to win it. Jesus. Bayern do boast the top Bundesliga goal scorer in Harry Kane, who is also the second top scorer in the Champions League this season, but unfortunately for Kane, I don't think Bayern have the quality to top this Real side, let alone stop them. Yes, they've got quality players, there's no doubt about that, but they've not played best at times this season. I know Tuchel is set to leave at the end of the season anyway, so this could be a nice farewell for him if he progresses to the finals and then goes on to win it. But I just don't think that'll be the case. Now, obviously, Harry Kane has been cooking. He's the Bundesliga top goal scorer, and once again scored in North London to dunk on Arsenal. You got to respect it. This is the only trophy Bayern Munich could win this season, so I'm going to assume they're going to be going all out for it, and they really should. But ultimately, I don't think they can stop this Real Madrid team. The Bavarians could surprise us. A slight little bit of me thinks they will, but ultimately, I doubt it. I'm backing Real Madrid to progress, and I think, if I remember this correctly, they were one of my early shouts for winning the Champions League this season, so we be new. And then move on to PSG versus Borussia Dortmund. Yep, it's the current French champions for the 7th successive time, host Bundesliga challengers, I guess you could say. Yep, PSG breezed to their 7th successive league title, pretty much unopposed from the second half of the season. You know, there's slight wobbles in the first half of the season where they were figuring out what to do and how to play without Mbappe. But yeah, they've wrapped up the title once again, and I don't think anything was in doubt about that. Borussia Dortmund haven't won the Bundesliga since the 11-12 season, though they have been routinely challenging Bayern for the top spot. Think back to last season. Unlike their French opponents though, Borussia Dortmund have won the Champions League before, and while that was way back in the 96-97 season, it's still a Champions League crown, and it's more than PSG have ever done. PSG have not been so lucky in Europe's biggest competition, as they've only reached the finals once, and they haven't won the Conference League or the Europa League either. So hold that, I guess. But Ipswich have more European titles than PSG. Each side had to beat Spanish opposition to progress, and you know, it's similar to the other team. You know, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich had to beat English opposition, and PSG and Borussia Dortmund had to beat Spanish opposition. I think that's a funny little tidbit there. Doesn't really mean anything, just a little observation I made. Despite losing in Paris, PSG fought back on Spanish soil to ultimately beat Barcelona 6-4 in aggregate. The La Remontada did not happen. It was not on. Dortmund also lost the first leg, but used their home advantage in the second leg to beat Atleti 5-4 in aggregate, to reach their first semi-finals since 2012-13. Currently, Borussia Dortmund find themselves in 5th after what's probably could be classed as an off-season for the Black Yellows, especially after they took Bayern Munich to the final day last season. They did win the Klassiker this season, you know. It didn't matter, but they won it. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. And like their Bavarian rivals, this is the only trophy they can win this season, so I'm sure they're going to be gunning for it. But unlike in Germany, it's never really been under any doubt who would win the French title, as PSG finished the league 12 points clear of second place Monaco at the time of writing. Dortmund's form hasn't been the best since progressing on to the next round, as they drew one and lost one, which sums up their season really. PSG have secured the league title, but their form has still been good as well, winning twice and drawing once. This is a very interesting clash, and of the two, this one has more opportunity to have an upset, I think. I am backing PSG in this one. It is a very tough clash on paper, I think, but PSG, just looking at it, have the better side. There's so much talent in that team, it is nuts. They have a lot of talent at their disposal. Of course, they have Ligue 1 and Champions League top goal scorer Kylian Mbappe, who is no doubt going to be massive for the Parisians once again in what could be his final season at PSG. Dortmund do have quality in their midst as well, but they have nobody on the level of Mbappe. But I don't think that is a dig at Dortmund, to be honest, because no one has a player on the level of Mbappe, apart from maybe Manchester City with Erling Haaland. But the guy's a joke. The tie has also shafted Dortmund, as they have to play at home in the first round, which I'm sure they'd rather have avoided, to be honest, because being at home in the second leg is a massive advantage, especially for a team like Borussia Dortmund with the yellow wall and the atmosphere Siglo Iduna Park can make. It would have been phenomenal if they were, you know, coming into this clash trailing. They could have switched it up, turned it around, but who knows? I mean, the Parc des Princes is going to have amazing atmosphere as well with the PSG Ultras, so either way, we're in for a treat, but I think Dortmund would have preferred if it was the other way around. As much as I would like to see Dortmund progress, and I'm being fully transparent here, my biases lie with Dortmund and Bayern Munich in this prediction video, but I just don't think either of them have what it takes to get through. I think a Der Klassiker final would be phenomenal. I think the scenes that match could generate would be amazing, but I just can't see that happening, and instead we're going to get the Kylian Mbappe Champions League final. I see PSG progressing to the final and setting up a tie with Real Madrid. Now, this is Kylian Mbappe's last opportunity to win it with PSG, but he may be joining the club that wins it this season anyway. So, I think it's a win-win for Mbappe, and ultimately, if it does go to PSG Real, I think Real are going to win. Spoilers for next Champions League video, by the way. But yeah, I've been O2GT, and this has been my Champions League semi-finals predictions. I always want to say quarter-finals, but no, it's the semi-finals this time around. Hope you have enjoyed. Leave any predictions you may have in the comments down below. Who do you think is going to win the thing outright? Personally, money's on Real. And who do you think is going to win these ties? I'd love to see a German side go through, but ultimately, I don't think that'll be the case. Anyway, hope you have a brilliant rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.